group of 3 verses. Anganika Bharadvaja, 219. Seeking purity by the wrong method, I tended the fire in the wood. Not knowing the path of purity, I perform austerities to gain immortality. 220. This happiness is gained by happiness. See the essential rightness of the Dhamma. The 3 knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. 221. Formerly I was a kinsman of Brahma. Now indeed I am a true Brahmana. I possess the triple knowledge, and I have watched and am versed in the sacred knowledge, knowing the Vedas thoroughly. So this monk was formerly a Brahmin, and he was practicing the wrong method, worshipping the fire. Then he says, this happiness is gained by happiness. This happiness of enlightenment or liberation is gained by the happiness of jhana, because only jhana, plus the knowledge of the Dhammas, can bring on enlightenment. Pachaya 222. 5 days ago I went forth, a learner, not having attained mental perfection. A resolve arose in my mind when I had entered my cell. 223. I shall not eat, I shall not drink, nor shall I go forth from my cell. I shall not even lie down on my side, while the dart of craving is not removed. 224. See my energy and effort as I dwell thus. 3 knowledges have been obtained. The Buddha's teaching has been done. So looks like this Pachaya, 5 days after he ordained, he attained enlightenment. It's very, very fast. Bakula 225. Who afterwards wishes to do the things which were to be done before, is deprived of the happy state, and afterwards repents. 226. One should say only what one would do. One should not say what one would not do. Clever men recognize one who talks but does not act. 227. Truly quenching, taught by the fully enlightened one, is very happy, without grief, dustless, a place of rest where pain is brought to an end. This 225, who wishes to do the things that were to be done before. It's like if a person, when he's dying, then he wants to do those things that he should have done earlier. But he's too late, so he repents. Danya 228. If one wishes to live happily, full of longing for the ascetic state, one should not despise the Sangha's robe, nor its food and drink. 229. If one wishes to live happily, full of longing for the ascetic state, one should make use of the Sangha's lodging as a snake a mouse hole. 230. If one wishes to live happily, full of longing for the ascetic state, one should be satisfied with whatever comes one's way and develop the soul Dhamma. Matanga Putta 231. This was too cold, too hot, too late in the evening. The opportunities pass by men who with these words have abandoned their work. 232. But he who thinks of cold and hot as being no more than grass, doing a man's duty, he does not fall short of happiness. 233. With my chest I thrust aside daba grass and kusa grass and potakila grass and usira and munja grass and bulrushes, devoting myself to seclusion. So this monk, he goes into the forest where there are tall grasses, daba grass, kusa grass, all. With his chest, he pushes them aside. Kuja Sobita 234. One of those brilliant speakers, ascetics with great learning, who live at Pataliputta, old Kuja Sobita, stands at the door. 235. One of those brilliant speakers, ascetics with great learning, who live at Pataliputta, stands at the door, an old man blown by the wind. 236. Because of good fighting, good sacrifice, and victory in battle, and especially by the practice of living the holy life, this man prospers in happiness. So it's an old Arahant. Varana 237. Whoever among men harms other living creatures in this world falls from both this world and the next. 238. But whoever with benevolent mind has pity on all living creatures, such a man produces very much merit. 239. One should train oneself in the well-spoken utterance and in attendance upon ascetics and in solitary retirement and in calming the mind. Pasika 240. Although I alone of my unbelieving kinsmen in this world had faith and wisdom, standing in the Dhamma and possessed of virtue, it is to my relatives' advantage. 241. I rebuke my kinsmen and from compassion urge them on because of my love for relatives and kinsmen. Having done the service to the monks, 242. Having passed away and died, having attained happiness in the three heavens, my brothers and mother rejoice, realizing their various desires. So he urged his relatives to do good, to practice the Dhamma. So they did service for the monks, maybe constant offering of food to the monks, and having passed away, they were reborn in the heavens, the brothers and the mother. Yasoja 243. Here is a man with limbs like the knots of the Kala plant, thin, with his veins showing, knowing moderation in food and drink, with undaunted spirit. 244. Tormented by gnats and mosquitoes in the forest, in the great wood, like an elephant in the van of the battle, one should endure there mindful. 245. One monk alone is like Brahma, two together are like two devas, three together are like a village, more than this are like a tumult, an uproar. So this monk, like the Buddha, encourages monks to live alone. That's why he says one monk living alone is like Brahma, so great. But when two of them, then they are lower class already, two devas. And three, it becomes like a village already, busy talking. And more, then it becomes very loud already. Sati Matya 246. Formerly you had faith, today it is yours no more. What is yours true only. No bad conduct is mine. 247. For thus I have seen that faith to be impermanent and wavering. Even though people are interested, they become disinterested. So why should a sage waste away on that account? 248. A sage's food is cooked a little here, a little there, in this family or that. I shall wander for my small arms. There is strength in my legs. So maybe he's talking about those devotees. One moment they have faith, another moment they don't have faith. So he say, why bother with them? Just go and wander alone. Upali 249. Having departed from the world in faith, a novice newly gone forth should associate with good friends who are clean living, not relaxing. 250. Having departed from the world in faith, a novice newly gone forth, a wise monk living in the Sangha, should learn the Vinaya. 251. Having departed from the world in faith, a novice newly gone forth should wander undistracted, skilled in what is proper and not proper. Uttarapala 252. I was indeed clever, peaceful, able to discern what is good and useful. The 5 strands of sensual pleasures, the bewilderers in the world, caused me to fall. 253. Entered into Mara's sphere, afflicted by the strong dart, I was able to free myself from the snares of King Death. 254. I have eliminated all sensual pleasures. All existences have been torn asunder. Journeying on from rebirth to rebirth is completely annihilated. There is now no renewed existence. So like a lot of people, we are tempted by sensual pleasures, but this monk, he was able to bring himself out of it and attain arahanthood. Abhibhuta 255. Listen, kinsmen or relatives, as many as are assembled here. I shall teach you the Dhamma. Rebirth again and again is painful. 256. Exert yourselves, go forth, devote yourselves to the Buddha's teaching. Knock down the army of death as an elephant knocks down a reed hut. 257. Whoever will dwell vigilant in this Dhamma Vinaya, eliminating journeying on from rebirth to rebirth, will put an end to pain. So this Abhibhuta, he must have already become an Arahant, and he's telling his relatives to renounce, to go forth. Gotama, 258. While journeying on, I went to hell. I went to the Peta world again and again. This Peta is a ghost world. In the intolerableness of animal birth, many times I long remained. 259. Existence as a man too was successfully obtained. I went to a heavenly body once or twice. I remained in the fine material and non-material planes, and among the neither percipient nor unpercipient, and among the unpercipient. 260. These existences are well known to be without substance, determined, unstable, always driven on. Knowing this to have its origin in myself, being possessed of mindfulness, I attain peace. So he says, the origin of all these worlds is in ourselves, in our consciousness. Harita, 261. Who afterwards wishes to do the things which were to be done before, he is deprived of the happy state, and afterwards repents. 262. One should say only what one would do. One should not say what one would not do. Clever men recognize one who talks but does not act. 263. Truly quenching, taught by the fully enlightened one, is very happy, without grief, dustless, a place of rest where pain is brought to an end. Vimala, 264. Avoiding evil friends, one should associate with the best of individuals. One should stand fast in his exhortation, seeking the unshakable happiness. 265. Just as one climbing on to a small plank would sing in the great ocean, so even one who lives a virtuous life sinks if he depends upon an inactive man or lazy man. Therefore, one should avoid that inactive man who is lacking in energy. 266. One should dwell with those clever ones who live apart, the noble, resolute meditators who are continually putting forth energy. Okay, maybe we stop here for tonight. Tomorrow we go to the group of 4 verses. And the verses become more and more, then you can see more of what the Thera is trying to say. Anything to discuss? In the Vinaya books, it is stated that monk should not ride in a chariot unless he is sick. So only when it's necessary. So unless this monk was sick, he should not be on the elephant's on the back of an elephant.
2 days ago, you mentioned about it's okay to keep some hair, soft hair. But at the first place, why the Buddha would like all his disciples to shave off his hair?
The same reason the Buddha wants the monks to shave their hair. It's the same reason he wants the monks to wear the robe, to look different from lay people, and to send a message that monk is walking the spiritual path. So, for example, if any woman is interested in the monk, it sends the message, don't come near. So also, when you shave off your hair, then you don't look so attractive. So these are the two main reasons. That's why a lot of women are very scared to shave their hair.
Another question is about that they recommend people to stay concentrated by using Buddha when they are not doing anything. It is the same as the recommendation of the Buddha.
Not exactly. When you recollect the Buddha, think of the Buddha's qualities and all this. This one is just like chanting a mantra. Just keep your mind focused by just chanting some words. So it does not matter exactly what you chant. You can chant Namo Buddhaya. You can chant one of the paritas, Itipiso, Bhagava, Arahang, or almost anything, just so that your mind does not run. That is the purpose. And in fact, the first meditation taught by the Buddha was similar to this, but he was chanting the 32 parts of the body. So either you chant fast or you chant slow. When you chant slow, it is contemplation of the parts of the body one by one. So to see the loathsomeness of the body. But if you want to keep the mind concentrated, then you chant fast. For example, when you lie down to rest and you don't want to fall asleep, and you keep chanting.
To chant Buddha, we cannot concentrate, right? Because
it depends on whether you are chanting fast or slow.
But concentrate about the quality of the Buddha.
If you chant slow, then you are still able to think of the qualities of the Buddha. But you chant fast, then you cannot. Okay, the three knowledges in the Buddha's teaching refers to the night of enlightenment. When the Buddha was enlightened on that night, the first knowledge was recollection of the past lives. He recollected the past lives. This is the first knowledge. The second one, he used his divine eye or heavenly eye to see beings pass away and take rebirth. Pass away and take rebirth. So he saw the working of karma vipaka. Because of the karma a person creates, the rebirth is determined by the karma that he created. So that is the second knowledge. The third knowledge is destruction of the asavas. He contemplated on the Four Noble Truths, understood the Four Noble Truths and attained enlightenment. So these are the three knowledges of the Buddha.
Okay. So far, a lot of the three knowledges seem to come in the sequence. Is there any case where, it doesn't come in a sequence? For example, one day this thing comes, the next one, another one, over a series of days or something like that?
The reason why these three knowledges are mentioned often in the suttas is because of these Brahmins. The Brahmins always talk about the three knowledges also. But the three knowledges is different. So that's why it happens quite often. But if a person attains these three knowledges, I guess generally it should be together. Although it's possible that they might be not occur at the same time or the same night. It's possible.
So just We saw just now from the Sutta, one of the Arahant go backwards 500 years, another one 31 years. Does that mean that different Arahant can go as far back as in different length of time?
Oh yes, depending on their psychic power. Different Arahants have different psychic power. Some Arahants even have no psychic power, although they have all the jhanas, like Sariputta. Sariputta has all the 4 Rupa jhanas, the 4 Arupa jhanas, plus being able to attain a cessation of perception and feeling. And still he has no psychic power, and because he has no desire to, he has no self, so he has no desire to cultivate psychic power.
So in the case of Sariputta and the other Arahants, the three knowledges seems to be able to tell us that, if Arahant has seen the three knowledges, yes, including Asavas, that you see. So he sees the 2 knowledges first. But the Asava, will you tell that your Asava is terminated? As in the case of Sariputta, which he saw, he can actually realize he saw.
That means he just contemplate the Dhamma only. Contemplate the Dhamma, and then he let go of the clinging. Basically, it's the clinging of the self. We just let go and attain Arahanthood. So those without psychic power, instead of 3 knowledges, they only have one knowledge.
Okay. Why the state of perception and feeling is not counted as a Arupa jhana?
Cessation of perception and feeling is the cessation of the 6 consciousness. So the 6 consciousness has ceased. So it is higher than the Rupa and Arupa jhanas. It is not a Arupa jhana. Arupa jhana, you are still in the world, because if you attain a Rupa jhana, you can still be reborn. But if you attain cessation of perception and feeling, and you come out of it, you become an Arahant. That means you are noble reborn already. Because when a person comes out of the cessation, then he realizes the whole world is just a dream only, just in consciousness. It's not real. So he let go of the self. Then it's just like when you wake up and in the morning, after having a good dream at night. When you wake up in the morning, then you realize the dream. You were so frightened last night when you were having the dream, chased by some ghost or some murderer. You were so excited. Then when you wake up, you find it's only a dream. Why all the fuss? Not real at all. So when you get out of this cessation of perception and feeling, then you realize, what is life? Life is just a dream, and it's not real. Where's the self? Where's the self in the dream? It's not important, is it? It's not real.
In the case of the Buddha, he met his second teacher who taught him all the way from 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means the teacher do not know the Dhamma. So even when he reached 4 Dhamma, he come out, he still does not understand. Does that mean no?
Yeah, he does not understand the Dhamma.
And can we say that once the person comes out from Nirodha Samadhi, that means his asava stops. Means there is no mental outflow.
I guess when he comes out of this cessation of perception and feeling, he has to contemplate. He has to contemplate. Then only he realizes. Just like for the Buddha to become enlightened, he has to contemplate on the 4 Noble Truths. Then he understands the 4 Noble Truths. Then he let go, and then he attain destruction of the asavas. So in the same way, when a person comes out of the cessation, then he contemplates, and then he realizes the true nature of life.
Destruction comes afterwards, maybe?
Destruction of the asavas after the contemplation.
Or after the contemplation?
Yeah.
Hence the need to attain to cessation
No, it's not automatic. He's got to contemplate. I think so. I'm not an Arahant yet. Even the Buddhas, although the Buddha said before he was enlightened, he already had a basic understanding of dependent origination. But after the Buddha was enlightened, he wanted to understand thoroughly dependent origination. And he contemplated from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m., 12 hours. Then only he understood really dependent origination. So the knowledge is not automatic one. Even for a Buddha, whatever he wants to know, he has to make the effort to contemplate. Then only he will know. It's not automatic. So in the same way, when the person comes out of that cessation, I don't think it's automatic. He must contemplate. Then only he will realize.
We feel that how Buddha contemplated on dependent origination, that those people who advocate that we can attain the Aryahood within a certain state by contemplating on the dependent origination. Some people that say that it is like the only to go about it. It's so important that when we take this advice, even to a place of time, we need to have our knowledge of the things.
But in the suttas, attaining the Aryan stage, any Aryan stage, the basic requirement is attaining right view. And right view basically means the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. And understanding of the Four Noble Truths comes about either by contemplating the Four Noble Truths itself or one of a few other ways. One is dependent origination, another is the 5 aggregates, another is the 6 sense bases. Because if you understand each one of these to a certain depth, then you are basically, it means that you understand the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths can be seen in these few things, dependent origination, 5 aggregates, and 6 sense bases. And the Buddha mentions in the suttas that these are the important things to contemplate. So it is possible by contemplating dependent origination. But of course, you got to be able to really understand it, not just knowing just like some people, they just say they can quote the words Four Noble Truths, but they don't really understand it. Okay, shall we end here?